Hey everybody, Dan with Pain Free You. Today I wanted to talk about avoidance. And I know I cover this a lot, but I just really have this angle on it that I think is important. So, avoidance is your desperation for relief getting in the way of recovery. So, we all know that if we do something and it hurts, we don't want to do that thing anymore. And so, that can lead to us avoiding all sorts of things: body positions, movements, certain clothing types, foods, smells, chemicals, even things like, EMFs, Wi-Fi, cell phones, sounds, lights, you name it. And if we have somehow connected the exposure to those things or the doing of those activities or body positions or movements to be a problem, the natural inclination is to say, I better not do that again. Which is why so many people, when they have symptoms start or increase, the first inclination is, I got to figure out what I did so I never do that again. And so it seems to make logical and rational sense until you understand how the human body, brain, nervous system, pain system all functions. And when you recognize that many of the symptoms which you experience, which you then go into defense, avoidance mode, when you recognize that those symptoms or pains are false alarms created by a brain perceiving danger incorrectly, what ends up happening is we got this whole list of avoidances, things to never do because it's going to cause the symptom. But in fact, it's just going to trigger an alarm falsely. And so, in many cases, the avoidance which we are desperately using to seek some kind of relief ends up delaying recovery, because all it does is perpetuate the brain's belief that those things are dangerous, right? And so how do we actually get into recovery? Well, we have to trust the body and teach the brain that those things are not actually harmful. Well, we don't do that by avoidance. And I know we're desperate for any type of relief. But that relief comes with a cost. It comes with the confusion and the incorrect confirmation that those things are the problem. And so just ask yourself, is the relief that you're seeking worth delaying, and in some cases even preventing, a full recovery? Now look, I know some people who have gotten a lot of relief by avoiding activities, but they shrink and shrink and shrink their world to the point that their life is so limited that it's ridiculous. And I don't say that in a judgmental way, but it's just so common that people will avoid to get some kind of relief, and believing that they're solving the problem. I figured out the trigger, I'm not going to do it again, we're good. And in some cases, the people can live without significant symptoms or pain due to the avoidance. But they're doing that at the cost of living their life or not living their life. And so is this desire for relief slowing you down? I believe in many cases it is. Of course, we want to go back, make sure we're clear on the reason for the symptoms in the first place. If it's a mind-body condition caused by the brain perceiving danger and not some very recent new injury, right? If it's a mind-body condition, then we can teach the brain to turn off those symptoms, those alarms, by actually doing the things the brain is compelled to avoid, right? So if we want to be able to get rid of our sitting pain, for example, and we've determined our sitting pain is created by the brain perceiving sitting to be dangerous, the way to get rid of sitting pain is not to avoid sitting. It's to actually sit, expect it to go well, and if symptoms show up, call it out for what it is. It's a false alarm, because sitting is not truly harmful. Our bodies were designed this way, with hips that bend and knees that bend and backs that sit straight up. We were designed to sit. It's not a harmful activity. The presence of pain is not proof of any type of injury, damage, or or injury or damage. So, is your desire for relief slowing down or even preventing recovery? Here's the thing you can do. Write down all the things you avoid. All of them. Write it down. See how long of a list you got. If that list is really long, these are all the things you avoid because you are making sure you don't do things that have incurred symptoms as a result. That's your list of avoidances. But now let's cross off the word avoid. List of things to overcome. List of things to teach your brain are actually okay. And so look, it's challenging. It takes a little bit of courage, bravery, to say, I know this thing will cause some symptoms, but I'm willing to do it, to prove to my brain and teach my brain that those things I'm avoiding are not truly harmful. And so it does take a little bit of courage, but you have it in you. And I will tell you this, regaining activity and life and movement and foods and everything else is so worth the temporary discomfort. Because if you are avoiding all of these things to gain some temporary relief, you're trading that at the cost of long-term conditions, symptoms. So, really important to start to engage in those activities that you've been avoiding gradually. I'm not encouraging you to go run a marathon if running hurts, but gradually ease into it, expect it to go well, and if symptoms show up, don't panic. Know what it is. It's the brain perceiving danger, not that anything harmful is happening. So, don't let the desire for relief delay or even prevent recovery. So, love you folks. If you're not a subscriber on YouTube, click the subscribe button. If you're on Facebook, make sure to like this post, share it with anybody who needs it. And if you need any further support, look at the description of this video and you will find multiple resources for you. And I appreciate you, love you, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.